Hi, my name is Barb Dunn, and I'm a private money lender, and this is the Barb and Jen Show.
I'm
Right?
Jennifer. I don't know, jack of all trades right now. I'm not sure if I can say private money lender, but I do have a lot of things in common with Barb. Private money lending is one of them for sure.
Yeah.
So
What I'm currently working on is workforce housing in Boise. What I'm doing is funding full builds, and we just got a contract to build on 7 more lots. The owner is willing to work with us. He's only asking 5,000 for each lot. So when 2 builds are done, we're just going to roll them over to the next and offer these up for 550 and put in 275 in. Nice spread. So good.
nice,
Yeah.
nice. Well, what we're working on, one of our biggest pushes is we've got an RV park under contract, and we are going to be closing on that in March. So that's a lot of fun. That's a project up in Kalispell, Montana. Also working on some other private money lends in the process right now, and also working on a couple buy and hold properties in Montana as well. So
Nice.
one of our biggest pushes right now is working to find people that want to buy their own home without a bank. So we're really on a push. If there's anybody knows anybody out there that wants to learn about buying without a bank, and how that can be done, we that's something we can share here as well. So
Well, those new builds I'm doing, they need buyers. Why don't we do that?
well, let's talk about that then.
I know.
Perfect. So, just so everybody knows, I think this is going to be for Barb and I. This is going to be a let's get on and talk what comes to mind. So, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So, I think that's a really great subject. There's a lot of issues with affordable housing right now, and just a lot of people who can't get into their own homes.
Right.
And so the idea is, we have methods to do that. We have methods to help people get into homes, whether it's affordable renting or affordable buying. And one of the great ways, is buy on seller finance. So Barb and I both, and a bunch of people in our community, we have the availability nationwide to help people get into homes. No credit required. You got to be able to make your payment. The checks will be that you can show that you make payments on time, but some people just don't have credit, or they can't get a loan because they don't qualify for a mortgage because they're entrepreneurs, and so they just don't have the tax returns or the W-2 to show that they're um, eligible.
Yes. Yep. I've been self-employed most of my life, and it's always some banks love you, and other banks don't even want to know your name. So it's working with the right people. That's the name of the game. So that's a great service to be able to afford something that you want to be in. And I don't know about you, but the market that we're looking at in Boise, things are selling for 550 and lower. Just can't hang on to them. And then there's a big gap above that to 1 million. Then over 1 million things are moving, but nothing's moving in that range because people feel like they can't transition. It would just be a lateral move, not an up or down move. So um, buying a home for 550 is considered portable and new builds. So that'd be great to have that service offered. Huh. How did you get into that? You just started?
Well, so we just in Montana now. Barb and I were Idaho and Montana. We're just adjacent to each other, so great opportunities to work with each other. In Montana here, we're just starting to pick up some homes that really the best thing for them is to find home buyers for them. So as investors, when we purchase homes, we purchase homes to fix and flip, we purchase them to rent, and we purchase them to sell. And so what we would do when we go to sell a property is we pass on the mortgage to that buyer. So it's called subject to, and or a seller finance. It just depends on the deal. But basically, you don't have to qualify for your own mortgage. That is already in place, or something that we set up, and you don't really have to show that income. You just have to meet much more simpler vetting terms.
Nice. Yeah, that's, wow, what an opportunity for folks to go forward. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. And who are you working with? Is it just yourself or is there a group of you?
Most with Jordan Reyes, he lives up in Kalispell,
Mhm.
and he's a investor up there. And so, but we're picking up properties all over the state. We've got some prospective properties in Billings, a couple here in Butte, Montana, which is where I live. We've got one property that we've got somebody in that bought it on a lease option. So there's a lot of different ways we can do it. They bought it on a lease option, and they're in Bozeman, Montana. So all over the state. We're Missoula. We've got a couple in Missoula. So, and the other affordable housing option is a room. So we are working on some nicer properties where somebody can, come in and just rent a room if they're not ready to own their own house or rent their own home. And a lot of times apartments are just as expensive as houses. So if they want to live with a couple of other like-minded people, that's another opportunity that we have available or will have in the future.
Nice. Yeah, I'm actually involved in two projects where they're fourplexes. And what we're doing is we'll sell those off individually, and those will be affordable as well. We're using modular homes to build. So that'll be a nice thing it should be up and running by summer. It should happen
Are
quick.
are you guys just selling them outright, or are you considering any pairing?
No, I think we're gonna sell them outright.
Okay.
Since we can do it individually, as opposed to a whole building fourplex. So there's 8 total. So I think we'll sell them individually
Well,
and
like
move,
a condo.
move on to the next project. That's my goal, is to try to get affordable housing for workforce.
Another option for affordable housing that's kind of unconventional, and that's that RV park that we have up in Kalispell. Um, is the lots are for sale. It's not a traditional RV park. We're buying the whole area, and we've got 25 lots for sale. So some people just want to be a lot more mobile, and that's a great way for more affordable housing than your traditional buying a big house and not being able to travel and stuff. So
So I have looked at that pitch deck. Are those cabins that are going to be in that property also for rent or for buy, or is that different than the lots being sold?
right now we're just selling the lots, but there's an opportunity to, basically come to terms with somebody and help them build a home there as well. But it would just be a tiny home. So this would just be like a little tiny home. The vision in the future would be probably more like it would turn into a little tiny home community.
Isn't that nice? That's
So
so great. Especially, for you, the water and the sewers, everything's all in place, which is
it's all
huge.
there. Yep. It's already all there. So, and it's right across the street from Flathead Lake. So
I know. It's beautiful, beautiful area. Gosh, I live on the lake in the summer and it just can't be beat. It's pretty
someday I'll live on the lake in the summer.
well, see if you can stay in one of those cabins for a little bit just to make sure everything's running smoothly.
Yeah, that's what I'll worry. That's why I need to stay there.
I would. So how do you structure that? Will there be an HOA, or how's it going to be monitored?
Yeah, there'll be a POA, and basically we'll sell off the lots and then we'll run the POA. It's we're going to have some pretty stringent rules in there. You know, we want to make sure that it's a very high class area. So the types of RVs that can be in the park and the types of homes that can be built are going to be pretty specific. Yeah.
So what's the language for that? Is it like luxury? I mean, how do people know?
You know, we're still putting together, truly, we're still putting together the all of the legal part and all of that. But yeah, there's going to be some, we might say luxury, but there's going to be some language just to make sure you can't drop an old trailer in there, you know.
Yeah.
So probably specific years and sizes and those kinds of things. So,
that makes sense. That'd be nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were on a call the other day and we were talking about what types of homes could be in there. And someone was showing us these little like container homes that still had the hitch on it. And we're like, you know, I would stay there, but that's not what this is going to be. This needs to be much higher class than that.
Yeah. Nice.
So.
Yep. Well, like anything, people are fine with whatever you determine. They just need to know. Yeah.
Right.
That's
right.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. And then I'm also doing a project up in Stanley, again, workforce housing, trying to sell cabins to locals so they can live where they work. So hopefully that'll go through.
That's really awesome.
I know. Actually, we're trying to keep a cabin for ourselves because I just love it there. It's right at the base of Salto National Park, so it's gorgeous.
Now, you guys were going to have a meeting with the city.
Yeah. Well, we're on the agenda. I got a call from them about 2 hours prior, and they said since we were going to the city council to ask if it was a feasible thing to condoize the property so we could sell off the cabins individually. Right now, it's a family compound and one piece of property, but the mayor and the council felt that it was not. They couldn't give us an answer because we're not under contract and we don't own it. So it's kind of a catch-22 because the owners wanted to see what the city would allow us to do before they'll sign. So they said, why don't you figure out and get it under contract, work with the seller so they would be willing to do all the paperwork, sign off, and then we have a 3-month contingency plan. So if after 3 months the city allows us to do what we'd like, we'll go ahead with the process. But if they say no, then nobody's lost anything. We get our deposit back. Yeah, everything's back how it was. So that's kind of where that got left.
I'm excited to hear how that turns out.
Yeah, it's a great community, and they are struggling with workforce housing. They received actually a $4 million grant from the state to put in workforce housing, but they have to get, they're 2 years out because they have to get wetland approval, engineers in there, and it's just a lot. Whereas we can offer something immediately. Like they can't hire a city because they don't have any housing for the person to move there. So we're hoping to solve that need immediately and work with the city that maybe perhaps they buy one through us and then they rent back to us or somehow whatever works for them. We're open to working with them to make it happen.
So, that would be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, 9 cabins. They're little 1-bedrooms, but we're going to stage one of them and just make it look cute as can be and, see the potential. And everybody will get a storage unit. And then there's a garage that we're converting into a kind of for the HOA community. So if you want to have a dinner party, you can go to this space and entertain and not feel like you're all trying to get into your little cabin.
Yeah.
But put beds in there so they, fold up and, so you can have some space. And do some green space out in front so you have a little bit of a yard that's kind of protected and private. So it acts like a whole different room. Even though you have a tiny cabin, you have this, 12 by 15 space outside that feels like it's inviting
to it. Yeah. Awesome.
So Good stuff happening.
Yeah. So you had last weekend, you had a little event, or last
We
weekend?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a meetup in Twin Falls. A gentleman named Frank Rogers, he came and he spoke about self-directed IRAs and how you can use those to lend um, or purchase property or whatever you like to do with them. And he just gave a nice rundown. And actually, I'm going to post the video on my YouTube channel so you can watch what that process is. Very, very interesting. So,
Awesome.
yeah, it
I think
was
a
nice.
lot of people don't realize that they can lend their 401k. Now, there's some provisions. Just a high level, you all should go over to Barb's channel and watch it. But it has to be a 401k that you're not currently employed.
Right.
Um, and well, that's one of the only provisions actually. And then there's several different self-directed IRA companies,
Mhm.
and you can choose to do a trust or an IRA, actually, of a trust. Um, and so it allows you to participate in um, investments you wouldn't think you could participate in, which is pretty cool.
And if you take the investment, whatever profits, put it back into the self-directed IRA, and it's tax-free.
Yep.
So that's huge. Yeah. So
There's some other things that we can teach about in the future, Barb, like insurance policies
mhm.
and things like that as well. So we'll have some of those things probably come in the future. We've got some friends that know all about that stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll be able to invite some guests, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it will be. Well, we're almost 18 minutes right now. Gosh, it goes
Awesome.
fast. I know.
Yeah,
We're trying to limit this to 20 minutes at a time. So
just make it like a nice little nice little thing for everybody to be able to tune into real quick once a week. So
yeah, and we can have affiliate links posted up here too if you're interested to talk with Frank. He does sell or has his own company for self-directed IRAs. He's been doing it over 30 years now, so he's incredibly knowledgeable. He's out of Boise.
awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I do have one if you're interested in a trust too. You'll put that link. I have an affiliate link for that. I always recommend shopping around and deciding what you guys like the best. So you can put
Yeah.
that up as well. So, but yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in to our very first episode. You know, Barb, I realized we didn't even really introduce ourselves. So next time
We could do that. Yeah.
we can tell you all about our background.
Yeah.
Thanks for
True.
tuning
I know. We're all learning together. Come join us. It's a fun ride.
in. All right. Bye, everyone.